there's nothing like cracking that cellophane and pulling that record out. It just smells great.
Welcome to BODS Mayhem Hour.
Non-stop hardcore energy.
I love the show, guys. You're awesome.
Unlike any other.
With your host, John the Bod, a.k.a. The Bod Father.
Man, this stuff rocks.
Hey, this is Dan Lorenzo from Patriarchs In Black. You're listening to BODS Mayhem Hour.
The views and opinions of the guest do not necessarily reflect the views and opinions of BODS Mayhem Radio Network, its staff, affiliates, or sponsors. Parental discretion is advised. Welcome to BODS Mayhem Radio Network.
Hey everybody, welcome to BODS Mayhem Hour. I am your host, John the Bod, aka the Bod Father, and as always, I bring you guys and gals awesome interviews. And today it's an honor and a huge privilege to welcome back Mr. Dan Lorenzo from Hades and Nonfiction, Vessel of Light, Cassius King, and now Patriarchs In Black. And Patriarchs In Black have released their first single entitled Demon of Regret with Karl Agell on vocals and Dave Neabore with Dog Eat Dog on bass, and this is on MDD Records. And I know I'll probably just ruin their names, but anyway, how you doing, Dan? Welcome to the show, my man.
Good, my man. But Johnny Kelly, you forgot about mentioning Johnny.
We're going to talk about Johnny. I didn't forget about Mr. Kelly.
All right. Okay.
The well-traveled Johnny Kelly. The well-traveled Kelly.
Busiest man in metal.
Yeah, that is exactly right, dude. Every time I look around some video with some metal band, there's Johnny behind the kit. Like, gee, Mr. Johnny. That's good, though, because Johnny's well-respected, man. He's a hell of a drummer, so that's cool for him.
Amazing, yeah.
So how you been doing during all this pandemic, man? Let's talk about that just a little bit. Let's get that out of the way. How you been doing so far?
I got COVID a year ago. I only had a stuffy nose. I got my 3 vaccines, and I've been fine since a year ago. So, I haven't really stopped, man. I've been traveling. I've been going out to dinner with my wife, just do whatever, just living the life, play basketball indoors Friday night for a couple hours with my boys. So, I know it sucks and there's so much negativity in the world and so many things to be upset about, but I'm trying to concentrate on all the good things going on.
Yeah. So see, I had COVID last year too, but it was just like a regular allergy code to me that I get every single year. And they're like, oh, you got COVID. And I was like, I don't think I've got COVID, but okay. You're the doctors, not me.
Yeah.
So how excited are you, man, to finally have this first single, Demon of Regret, released? How's it feel to get this out there finally?
Well, I'm super stoked about it. I'm usually, since I was in Hades, I've been excited about every record I've ever done in my life. And then with Nonfiction, I thought we were going to really make it. And, we did it right for ourselves. We toured Europe and America, and we did a lot of shows in America, actually. But I'm excited about everything I do, whether it's Vessel of Light or Cassius King. But right now, I am just flipping out for Patriarchs In Black because, I always wanted to jam with Johnny Kelly. And I don't even know why it never happened sooner. But, Karl Agell, we knew each other. He actually jumped on stage with my band Nonfiction in Raleigh, North Carolina in either 1992 or 93. And we did a Sabbath cover right when he was asked to leave Corrosion of Conformity. And then I ran into Karl at the New England Doom and Stoner Festival 2 years ago. We hadn't seen each other since 93. I didn't know if he would even remember me. And we both, remembered the night very well. It was pretty funny. And a writer by the name of Patrick actually got me in touch with Karl because he's not the easiest guy to get a hold of on social media because I'm not really on Facebook, but couldn't be more pumped. To make a long story short, I'm really excited. We got, I have recorded guitars for 11 songs for the Patriarchs In Black record, simultaneously working on the second Cassius King record. But like you said, right now, the Patriarchs In Black single, Demon of Regret, just came out. And I love it. I heard, you told me you love it as well, right? Oh, yeah. This is a banger, dude. I like this. It's got that slick Black Sabbath-y sound to it. It's got that. Yeah, this is good. I'm not just saying it because you're on here, man. I mean, I truly enjoy this track for sure. So kudos to you guys for on this track, man. I can't wait to hear the rest of this, to be honest with you. Yeah, so the idea was, we're going to have a bunch of different singers on this record and a bunch of people committed. And then one guy disappeared on me. I don't know what happened, but so we're probably going to have Karl sing a couple songs. My buddy Dave Neabore, like you said, from Dog Eat Dog, he played bass on the Patriarchs in Black single. But we're going to make it a fun record. A bunch of different musicians are going to sing on it. But we're going to probably have Karl Agell from, he sang on Corrosion of Conformity Blind, probably have him sing 3 songs at least. But Johnny Kelly is playing drums on every song, and I'm playing the guitars, and I wrote the music.
Was this your intention to have different vocalists on this, or did it just fall into place?
What's really funny is I think I sent the first song I wrote to Karl, and I sent a bunch of songs to Johnny, and we were talking about like, well, what happens if Karl doesn't sing this so well? What happens if we don't like his voice? And he's like, why don't we have fun with this record and just have a bunch of different singers? And I was actually thinking the same thing the night before Johnny said it, but not that I'm really intimidated by Johnny, but I now I know him much better. But when we first started talking, I'm like, well, I wonder if this guy will think it's crazy if I tell him we should have maybe a bunch of different singers on it. So we both thought about it probably around the same time. And, we talked with some people about it. They're like, that sounds really fun. I'm into it. I'll do it. So, we're doing this for fun. We're not doing this for money at this point in our lives, Could
you see yourselves taking this out on the road eventually? Maybe it's just, like you said, this is just a fun album just to put out.
Yeah, so it'd be kind of hard. Like, I'm definitely itching to play some live shows again. Mm-hmm. But it'd be weird if we do a record with like 4 different singers. Then, you can't really travel together, but I mean, maybe there'll be a couple shows where, Karl's talking about, do a show in LA, do a show in North Carolina, do a show in Florida, invite a couple of the different singers, and maybe one of the 2 of the singers can sing somebody else's song. But I'm definitely not opposed to it because I haven't played a show since Corona hit. Vessel of Light was playing shows right when Corona stopped everything, and we were starting to build up a little momentum, and then it just stopped. So I'm itching to do shows right now.
So how long have you been setting on these songs, Dan? Are these basically brand new, or these pre-pandemic or after? Yeah,
these are brand new songs. I mean, I've been writing I literally recorded 70 songs in the last 5 years, and 5 albums came out already, and now 6 and 7 will come out this year. I have a new Cassius King record that I finished all my guitars, and the Patriarchs in Black. I finished all my guitars, at least I thought I did, but then I wrote 2 great new songs this week, and I'm really excited about. So I've been in the hottest streak of my life, John, and I don't know how it's happening, but I'm loving it.
It's like lightning in a bottle, man. When it's there, you don't stop. Just keep on going till you can't play no more, man.
Yeah, well, and I barely can play anymore. I've got a little problem. My right thumb really hurts when I play. If I open up a jar of whatever, it hurts. So I can't really play thrash right now. So it's a good thing I'm playing, tune low and play slow, playing some doom metal, because right now that's what I can play best.
Any tracks standing out more to you than any right now on this, if you can talk about them, man? Are there any that stick out for you that impress you?
Well, I mean, the first single, because it's the only song that's completely finished, but then we're working on a bunch of songs. Johnny's recorded drums to about maybe 6 or 7 songs. So right now they're temporary titles until the singers finish the lyrics and the melody. But yeah, there's a couple things that are just so crazy. And then also, while I'm doing the Patriarchs in Black, like I said, the new Cassius King is halfway finished. Excuse me. And we have a song coming out next month. The first single will be called Bad Man Down. And it's just so catchy. So I'm excited by all of it, honestly. I'm not going to lie to you, John.
What's impressed or excited you the most about creating this debut single, Demon of Regret, man? What sticks out the most about it? When did you know, this is something that this has to go out?
Well, I think it's just so cool that Dave Neabore, he's the only guy who lives anywhere near me. And, I haven't been in a room with Johnny for 3 years. I haven't been in a room with Karl for 2 years, and that, you don't need to have rehearsals anymore. And basically I've been writing all these albums with I play my guitar first to a click and I'm done. But we actually edited it out 17 seconds of Demon of Regret, because, I give my singers freedom enough to sing where they think they should sing. And then there was a part where there's nothing going on. So I'm like, all right, let's just remove that. But just the way how easy it is now, you don't have to have 50 rehearsals. With Hades, we would have seriously 75 rehearsals. before we go into the studio to do an album. You know, it was just, to me, it was just too much, too tedious, you know, too repetitious.
Too much overdone. I got it. Jeez. 75. That's crazy. Eventually, man, the burnout's going to be like, okay, look, let's calm down just a little bit.
Yeah, right.
I know bands are always writing, and I know you said that you had like 70 some songs written, but where do you stop and say, okay, this set's going to be for this album, or where does that come into play? Or is it just what you're working on at that time?
Yeah, I don't have preconceived notions. Like, I don't say, oh, let me try and write an up-tempo song. I don't say, let me write a song. I just write. And then I go to my buddy J-Rod's studio. I record it, like I said, to a click track.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, like I said, the new Cassius King album is finished. Nathan Opposition from Vessel of Light, the singer, he moved from Cleveland to Austin, so we haven't really been talking that much. He's been busy. So I just, you know, been sending songs to Johnny. And, you know, I told Johnny, if there's anything you don't like, don't worry about it. Don't sweat it. But just everything's moving. It's moving quickly. And I don't have any preconceived notions as to what songs for what band, honestly.
How did Johnny become part of this band? Because, I mean, you work with a lot of great people in this. It's kind of like an all-star album of people. But how did Johnny become part of this?
Well, I believe Johnny and I might have actually even, you know, kind of met, you know, or become a little bit friendly on MySpace or somehow. I don't know how it is, but I do remember Bobby Blitz telling me, you know, maybe 6 months ago, I said, man, you know, I'm going to ask Johnny to record a few songs for me. And Blitz is like, man, he'd be the perfect drummer. So Blitz wants to take all the credit, but it wasn't really completely up to him, you know. Johnny and I, we knew each other, and we actually, we played Vessel of Light, opened up for Life of Agony and Silvertomb, and Johnny plays drums for Silvertomb. Mm-hmm. And he was nice enough to let Ron Lipnicki use his set back in New York City a couple of years ago when we did the first ever Vessel of Light show. And, you know, I always thought he was a great drummer, and I didn't really, like, I was kind of honored that he knew who I was a few years ago. I thought it was so cool. But I think he actually might have even ended up, you know, when he was younger, being a Hades fan. So I haven't even asked him about that. But I mean, I know he was aware of us, but I didn't know if he was aware of me individually.
I love interviewing every single one of you guys and gals. But I mean, Johnny Kelly for me is absolutely hilarious. He's a good, down-to-earth guy. And I wish I could have got to meet him down here in Prestonsburg, Kentucky, because he was on tour with Quiet Riot. And they came through here and played at, I can't remember. I think it was one of our parades that we have in October. And it was just recently. And I had just got out of the hospital and I couldn't get down there. And it killed me, Dan.
What were you in the hospital for? Not COVID?
No, I had a cyst that ruptured on me.
Okay.
And I'm very lucky and thankful that I didn't get COVID, you know?
Right.
So, but yeah, that killed me. I was like, I can't go see Kelly and Quiet Riot. I was like, you got to be kidding me. I missed Metallica at Louder Than Life Festival, all those bands. I didn't get to see Quiet Riot. I was like, okay, this has to be a bad dream.
Right.
This is horrible. So yeah, maybe next time I'll catch Kelly again. Hopefully.
Well, he's in enough bands, so I'm sure you'll catch him.
That is very true. But I did run into him at Rock on the Range several years ago. I got to talk to him there just a little bit because they was doing all kinds of stuff with media and things. But yeah, that's all cool. You've been in many bands, but what does this band bring to the table that other projects might have been missing for you, if anything, man? Does this give you another outlet for you to, you know, just scratch your musical growth per se?
Well, I think the thing that's interesting is the timing of it is, you know, it's really hard to get a real record deal nowadays. And, you know, with COVID, like there were some people who wanted to put out Vessel of Light and Cassius King, and then COVID hit, and like there's these guys, like, you know, all the stores are closed. But we were lucky enough that we got a deal with California's Nomad Eel Records for Vessel of Light and Cassius King. But, you know, they didn't have great European distribution or distribution in Japan. And now for Patriarchs In Black, I was actually offered, you know, pretty good deals from 4 different labels, like not the normal deal, like, oh, we'll give you 20% of the product or whatever. Like they actually were talking about some money, you know, nothing big, but, you know, they got a promo team. So we signed with MDD Records because they have a publicist, they have, you know, the resources to do advertising in Decibel Magazine, all the European magazines, and they have good distribution in Japan and all that. So I just feel like if nothing else, this record's going to get a little more visibility than the last few records I've done, just because, probably because of the people who are in the band, probably because of Johnny, Kelly, and Karl, like their names. And so that's something that's just a little different.
Are these tracks that you've already got set up, are these set in stone that's going to be on here? Are there any that didn't make this that you may end up putting on another Patriarchs or another album, maybe?
Definitely writing enough where I could put out another album or record another album for sure. Right now, what we're doing is I've given Johnny maybe 12 or 13 songs, and I'm going to give him 2 more on Saturday when I go in the studio. So, what I basically do is I'll write the songs. If there's something that Johnny didn't love, maybe he won't record it. He'll tell me, I'm not into that, whatever. And then we have to give them to the singers. Now you give them to a singer and he might say, yeah, I love this song, but I can't think of a melody line or lyrics. So then I'll come and say, all right, I always hear melody lines in my head. If a singer can't hear one, I'll do something. But it would be more a component of, if a song doesn't make an album, it's because maybe a singer couldn't think of lyrics or because they just got too busy with their other bands or whatever. But I mean, I don't really give songs to Johnny that I don't believe in, Sure.
And I want to jump back here just for a little bit when you're talking about record companies and things like that. Do you see, Dan, that do you see the options more better coming from overseas than here in the US, or is it just one of those things that kind of fell in your lap?
Yeah, well, a little bit of both. I mean, I think, there's always a label out there. If you're in a band and you're pretty good, there's always a label that will probably put out your record, but it's your job to find that label. They're not always coming to you. So it's funny that I reached out to just 4 labels right before I released the first single. And I said, like I said, we were negotiating with 3 different labels and we went with MDD Records. But then one of the things that was important to me was, hey, look, if nothing else, I want to release the first single like as soon as possible, just to show the world what we got going before the album comes out. Because the albums for Patriarchs in Black probably is not going to be finished until like April 1st, which means it won't come out until late summer. So, but yeah, it seems like things are picking up a little bit.
Now, this album, is it going to be produced in-house, or who's actually producing this?
Yeah, we have a guy named J-Rod Productions up in Pomona, New York, and I don't know if he's really producing it, but he's mixing it. I'm kind of arranging the album. Johnny will send me drums and be like, hey, man, what do you think of this? I'm like, dude, everything you do sounds great. I mean, I had maybe one suggestion on one song to ask him to do something different. So there's really not a producer, a real traditional producer for this, because, we're all recording it in separate states and all, so there's no traditional producer.
I got to ask this too, man. Since we're kind of getting out of this pandemic just a little bit, have you seen that music is oversaturated now since people are at home putting stuff out to Spotify, YouTube, things like that? Or do you think it's helped people out, or do you think it's just too oversaturated?
I think the whole world is oversaturated. There's too many bands, there's too many people, there's too much pollution, there's too much of everything probably, but I don't really get distracted by what everybody else is doing. I'm just concentrating on what I'm doing. So if there's 8 million bands putting out a record this week, or 100 or 5, I don't really even notice, because I'm just so, encapsulated in my own little world here.
Have you discovered any band though during all this that you've grasped onto and said, man, this is really good stuff?
I hate saying that, man. I still listen. I feel bad, but I still listen to the bands I grew up on. I mean, we have this guy, there's a band called Black Water Rising. I don't know if you ever heard of them.
Yes, yeah.
We're going to have their singer, Rob Traynor, sing a song on our record. They've been out for a while, but I definitely appreciate them. We got to play a couple shows with them. Those guys are really cool. And live, they're vicious live, man. But my buddy John Costco, he's got a band that's coming out so soon called Rebel at Dusk. But I can't think of any of the new bands off the top of my head that you wouldn't know about already.
What do you hope everyone takes away while listening to this new single or this album when it comes out in general, man, or just any of your stuff, Dan? What do you hope they get from it, man? I just hope that maybe some people notice that I write above average riffs, and my riffs, I write a lot of them. And I have a lot of other bands, whether, if you discover just Vessel of Light, then you go check out Cassius King, or that makes you check out Patriarchs in Black. Maybe you investigate my solo albums or Hades or Nonfiction. So I just hope people recognize that,
the people who I grew up loving, whether it's Aerosmith or Kiss, they got so mellow when they got old. And I turned 59 yesterday, and I'm playing the same music I played in 1990, like heavy. I'm not trying to be the heaviest band in the world, but I'm not wimping out,
Happy belated birthday, my brother.
Thank you, John.
My mom just turned 71, the young age of 71, January.
Very nice. Tell her happy birthday.
That's crazy. I'm very happy she's still here. Very, very happy. Do you still have a go-to album or song that you find yourself going back to, or to listen to from time to time? Something that you can't just take out of your repertoire of music, I should say, that you see yourself gravitating to.
Kiss Alive, I always put that on and play along with it. AC/DC, Highway to Hell, Aerosmith Rocks. Those are the albums that I'll just probably never get sick of.
I got to say this, man. I was very impressed with Cassius King when I heard the first album. I loved it. I absolutely loved it. Great stuff. And, man, don't sell yourself short, because you're a talented guitar player. I mean, you're a great guitar player. And I like what you do, man. I like what you bring to the table for sure.
Yeah, I don't consider myself a musician. I mean, I think I write great riffs. I think I'm one of the greatest riff writers in the world, but people can laugh at that because nobody knows who I am really on a large scale. But yeah, I love the Cassius King and the next record. I mean, it's coming out so good, and I'm definitely not taking a backseat to anybody as far as riffs. I mean, as far as guitar playing, there's pretty much anybody who's been playing for a year or two is usually better than me. But I like my style. I like when I play it. I think it sounds like me, and I like it. I wouldn't really want to be any, like, say if I wish I could play like Zakk Wylde, Dimebag, like I worship them, but I don't love all their songs they've released. So, I mean, I'm happy with what I do, but I appreciate you digging it as well.
What has been your best musical moment that you still can't believe you were part of, or maybe that you've worked with that you're still in awe of, possibly? Because I know we had that bucket list.
I mean, I think Vessel of Light, Last Ride, to me is a masterpiece, but I'll say this because my wife is in the background, hopefully listening. When I was in Nonfiction, played with Pantera in 1990 on the Cowboys from Hell tour, and I didn't really talk to those guys back then for whatever reason, but about 6 months after that, or a year later, I was in Los Angeles in a hotel doing interviews, and Phil Anselmo was there. We were both, for the Foundations Forum, just doing press. And at one point I came all along in the hotel room with Phil Anselmo, and I said to Phil, hey, dude, I said, you probably don't remember me. I'm Dan Lorenzo from, he's like, I know who the hell you are. And he started singing the first Nonfiction song on the first album at the top of his lungs. And it was just Phil and I in a hotel room. And that was like, that's really cool. I appreciated it more as time went on, because Pantera started releasing way better records after Cowboys from Hell. So that was like, I don't want to call it a bucket list, but it was something like that. That's really cool when I tell people that now, that Phil Anselmo was singing one of my songs to me.
Yeah, when you make that impact, you see one of your, I wouldn't say idols, but somebody you look up to, that's made a huge impact on the metal world. Being an artist yourself, that hits your heart, man. That's like, that makes the hair stands up on you. If that don't, there's something badly wrong. Do you have any stories, man, on that tour with Pantera that you can recall, maybe?
No, we actually just played one show in New York City with them. We had just signed with their management company, gave Nonfiction a publishing ban. So, we never toured with them. We just did that one show with them, and I got to be a little bit friendly with Rex Brown after that, and I had interviewed both Phil and Vinny. But it was just a one-off show. And then, like I said, that's why I was so surprised that Phil remembered me or knew who I was, a year later in Los Angeles.
Dan, my friend, how can folks stay in touch with you? Everything, all that you're doing, plus this new album that's coming out with Patriarchs in Black. How can we stay in touch with you? Buy this when it comes out, all that good stuff, man.
Well, I don't really understand Facebook, but I am on Instagram, Dan Lorenzo CK for Cassius King. And then all my bands, Vessel of Light, Cassius King, and Patriarchs in Black, we have Instagram pages. And Season of Mist sells all of our merchandise, whether it's Hades, Nonfiction, Dan Lorenzo, Vessel of Light, Patriarchs in Black, Cassius King. I'm pretty easy to find. If you Google my name, you'll find my website. You can shoot me an email. But yeah, I'm easy to find, but I don't do Facebook, so I don't know how to really operate Facebook.
And before I let you go, good sir, would you care to do another promo for my show?
Sure. This is Dan Lorenzo from Patriarchs in Black. You're listening to BODS Mayhem Hour.
Everybody stick around. We got some great stuff coming up, and you only hear these interviews right here on BODS Mayhem Hour. Please get out and check out our Facebook page. It has our podcast link and our YouTube link. Please subscribe, because definitely I need them, and help me out, please, folks. Help me. Also, get out and check out Dan Lorenzo. Check out all of his stuff that he has, especially Cassius King, nonfiction from Hades. I mean, I'm telling you, folks, Vessel Lot, he's done some phenomenal stuff that still needs more recognition than what it's getting. Patriarchs in Black. I cannot wait to get my hands on this, man, when it comes out. I'm telling you right now, folks, please support him and check out his other stuff. Dan, my man, you're always welcome back on here, and you always have support. You always have support from me. So thank you, sir.
Thanks, John. Have a great evening, brother.
You're listening to BODS Mayhem Hour.
Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.